Hello chess fans! Today, on the 20th of July, is the International Chess Day. In this video, we will look at a historic chess game. The game was played in 1954 and was the 14th game of the World Championship match between Mikhail Botvinnik and Vasily Smyslov. Here, Botvinnik had the white pieces, Smyslov the black ones. d4, knight f6, c4, g6, g3, bishop g7. This is the Indian game. Instead of immediately attacking in the center, black focuses on rapid development. Bishop g2, castles. Black's king is already safely castled, but white has two pawns in the center and isn't far behind in development. Knight c3, d6, preparing to fight in the center with e5. Knight f3, stopping that plan for the moment. Knight bd7, another attacker for e5, castles, and then e5, continuing with the plan. If white takes d takes e5, d takes e5, black is perfectly fine. He managed to break white's center control and has plans like c6 to stop white's knight from getting into d5. In the game though, white played e4, which is one of the best moves. If black takes with e takes d4, knight takes d4, white's pieces are very active, while black's queenside is still very passive. In the game, Smyslov played c6, fighting for the square d5. Bishop e3, developing normally, knight g4, opening the bishop and hitting e3. White has to do something about it, otherwise his pawn structure gets compromised. So Botvinnik played bishop g5, after which black played queen b6. An interesting alternative would have been f6. After bishop d2, black has multiple plans. One example is knight takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c5, after which he gets some counterplay, or even f5. Back to the main line. After queen b6, white kicked out the knight. But instead of retreating, black played e takes d4, a counter-attack on the white knight. But now it seems as if white can play knight a4, a Zwischenzug, and now the knight is protected. However, after queen a6, h takes g4, capturing the knight, black can play b5, winning back the piece, since the knight has no squares. Knight takes d4, b takes a4, and now another tactic. Knight takes c6, and after queen takes c6, white can play e5, which wins in exchange. You would think that due to the material imbalance and black's racket pawn structure, he should be much worse, but the position is actually about equal. After knight takes e5, g4 is hanging. The a8 bishop could get in trouble after a discovered attack, and black's pieces could get dangerously active around the opponent's king. But if white manages to consolidate, he is up material and black has some static weaknesses, so Smyslov needs to act quick. Rook c1, still good, but slightly better, was just returning the a8 bishop with bishop g2. Okay, rook c1, queen b4. There was an interesting line after bishop takes g4, rook takes c4, bishop takes d1, rook f4, bishop e2, rook e1, and knight d3, where the position is complicated, and it is definitely understandable that in the game, Smyslov wanted to keep the queens on the board. Back to the main line. After queen b4, white played a3, queen takes b2, queen takes a4. Again, still okay, but maybe white should have retreated the bishop from a8. Bishop b7, wanting to trade off the bishop, and now rook b1, which is a mistake, because now black has two great moves. In the game, black played knight f3. The alternative would have been bishop takes a8 first. After rook takes b2, knight f3, king g2, knight takes g5 check, f3, bishop takes b2. Black has three pieces and a pawn for the queen, which is a very unusual material imbalance, but here it definitely favors black. Let's go back to the main line, which is really similar. The king is forced to walk into a discovered check. White played king h1, but before executing the check, black played bishop takes a8, similar to the sideline. Rook takes b2, only move, knight takes g5, king h2, knight f3 check, king h3, and finally taking the rook on b2. Queen takes a7, taking the pawn, bishop e4, probably preparing to lock the bishop in the center with d5. Black has three pieces for the queen. In these types of positions, it is very important for the minor piece side to coordinate the pieces correctly, otherwise the queen could dominate. Here the pieces work very well together, and white's king is not safe. a4, letting the passed pawn run. I would have preferred something like queen e3, bringing the queen closer to the king. The engine also likes rook d1, bringing the rook into play and maybe also giving the king an escape route via f1. Back to the game. After a4, black played king g7 and now rook d1, bishop e5. An alternative was h5, and after d takes h5, rook h8, going all in on the attack. Being able to play rook h8 was one of the upsides of king g7. Back to the main line, bishop e5, queen e7, rook c8, heading for c2, a5, rook c2, king g2, guarding f2, but also walking into a discovered check. The problem is white can't defend the pawn with the rook. After rook f1, black just plays bishop d3. Knight d4 check, king f1, bishop f3. This completely suffocates the king. White still tried rook b1, but the game ended after knight c6, winning the a5 pawn, which was white's only hope of survival. If white plays, for example, queen g5, knight takes a5, after a few moves, white gets completely tied down, and the queen cannot battle black's monsters of minor pieces. Okay, this is it. If you enjoyed this analysis, I would be happy about a thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel, you can tip me. The link is in the channel description. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and happy International Chess Day!